The manhunt that changed history. December 13, 2003. Near Tikrit, Iraq. A soldier pulls a styrofoam plug from a hole in the ground. He shines his flashlight down into the darkness, and staring back at him, hands raised, is the man who ruled Iraq with absolute power for 24 years. Saddam Hussein, found hiding in a hole barely large enough to lie down in. The 8-month manhunt that became one of the most intense operations in modern military history ends not with a firefight, but with a single word from the most wanted man on earth. I am Saddam Hussein, President of Iraq, and I am ready to negotiate. This is the story of how the United States military hunted down and captured a dictator who thought he was untouchable. The Fall. April 9, 2003. Baghdad falls. Saddam Hussein's regime collapses. His statue is pulled down in Firdos Square, broadcast live around the world. But Saddam himself vanishes into the Iraqi landscape. The manhunt begins immediately. But finding one man in a country of 25 million people, many of whom are loyal to the old regime, is like searching for a ghost. The U.S. military creates something unprecedented. A deck of playing cards, 52 cards, each featuring a high-value target from Saddam's regime. The higher the card, the more important the person. Saddam is the ace of spades. His sons, Uday and Qusay, are the ace of hearts and ace of clubs. These cards are distributed to every soldier in Iraq. They're printed on leaflets and dropped over cities. Posters go up on walls across the country. The message is clear: we're coming for all of you. But months pass. Summer heat gives way to fall. Fall turns to winter. And Saddam remains invisible. The golden ticket. Behind the scenes, intelligence analysts work tirelessly to understand how Saddam is surviving. One analyst in particular becomes obsessed with the problem. He studies Saddam's history, his habits, his psychology. He builds a profile of how a dictator on the run would operate. The analyst's theory: Saddam won't trust many people. He'll stay close to his hometown of Tikrit. He'll rely on a small network of loyalists who've been with him for decades. And he'll need someone to carry messages between him and the outside world. That person becomes known as the Golden Ticket. His name, Mohammed Ibrahim al-Muslit. Muslit is Saddam's courier, his messenger, the link between the hidden dictator and his scattered network of supporters. If they can find Muslit, they can find Saddam. The problem: Muslit is almost as invisible as Saddam himself. Whack-a-mole. November 2003. Special operations teams are running missions around the clock. They hit targets in Baghdad, then fly to Ramadi. They raid compounds in Mosul, then drive back to Tikrit. One operator later describes it as chasing Elvis. Always close, never catching him. The tempo is exhausting. 24-hour operations, back-to-back. Teams are running on adrenaline, Ambien, and the hope that the next target will be the right one. It becomes almost comical. They pre-stage at forward operating bases, do broad daylight helicopter assaults, then get another hit and launch a ground vehicle raid that same night. They're hitting targets connected to Saddam's network, rolling up associates, interrogating contacts. Each mission yields fragments of intelligence, but Saddam himself remains out of reach. Then, on Thanksgiving Day 2003, something unexpected happens. President George W. Bush makes a surprise visit to Baghdad International Airport to serve Thanksgiving dinner to U.S. troops. A special operations team is assigned to provide security. As they stand backstage before the president addresses the soldiers, Bush turns to one of the team leaders. "Hey, you think you'll get Saddam yet?" The operator, caught off guard, responds, "Well, it'd be a good Christmas present, wouldn't it?" Bush smiles. "Yeah, that'd be real nice." A Secret Service agent leans over to the operator afterward. "Did you just promise the President of the United States you'd have Saddam by Christmas?" The operator later admits, "I hope I didn't do that." But the clock is now ticking. Christmas is 30 days away. The break, December 12th, 2003. Signal Intelligence picks up a phone call. It's from a number they've been tracking, a number connected to Mohammed Ibrahim al-Musli. The call comes from Baghdad, and it's close to the green zone. Teams roll out immediately. It's multiple vehicles, multiple assault teams, moving through Baghdad streets toward the target location. The first hit is a dry hole. Nothing. Nobody of value. But while they're on site, conducting the search in silence, another call comes in. Intelligence has narrowed the location. It's just a couple of blocks away. The teams move quickly to the second location. It's a multi-unit building with apartments upstairs and downstairs. As breachers prepare to blow the doors, something unexpected happens. A man inside hears noise and comes to check. He opens the door and finds himself face to face with a U.S. soldier, pistol drawn, inches from his face. In English, the soldier tells him to step back. The man complies. Within seconds, the teams flood in. Rooms are cleared. One bedroom, bathroom, another bedroom, all secure. Then a call from the back. "Hey, I need someone back here. There's somebody under the bed." The team moves to the back bedroom. They pull up the mattress. On the floor, lying as flat as possible, is a man holding a plastic toy, AK-47. It's bizarre. Who hides under a bed with a toy gun? They pull him out. He doesn't match the photos they have of Muslit. The team on the ground doesn't think it's him. But there are strange details. The man has thousands of dollars in U.S. currency in his wallet. The bills are sequential, the serial numbers in perfect order, like they came straight from a bank withdrawal. Still, it doesn't look like their target. Another dry hole. They drive the detainee back to Baghdad International Airport and hand him over to intelligence analysts and interrogators. The teams go home. They've been operating for 24 hours straight. They pop sleeping pills and crash. 4 hours later, their intelligence analyst comes running into their quarters. "It's him! It's totally him! It's Muslit! He's spilling his guts! He knows where Saddam is." The plan. The teams mobilize immediately. Muslit is put on a helicopter and flown to Tikrit. He's handed off to another special operations unit already in the area. Meanwhile, the squadron begins planning. Based on intelligence analysis, they have a theory about where Saddam is hiding. The analysts' predictions: he'll be near Tikrit. He'll be close to the Tigris River. He'll only trust people he's known for decades. And he'll need access to fish, because Saddam has a strict diet and only eats fish prepared by his personal chef. They identify 2 locations: the cook's house in town and the cook's family farm outside of town. The plan: simultaneous raids on both locations. One troop will hit the house in town. Another troop will hit the farm. The squadron will split its forces and strike both targets at the same time. Muslit is taken out to do close target reconnaissance. He points out locations, but something seems off. In a last-ditch effort to protect Saddam, Muslit points to the wrong farm. The teams don't know this yet. They load up. Vehicles and helicopters move into position. It's December 13th, 2003. Less than 2 weeks until Christmas. The raid. The teams hit both locations simultaneously. At the house in town, soldiers blow the door open and rush inside. There are children sleeping on the floor right inside the entrance. The operators carefully step over them. An elderly man appears. He's detained immediately. Then someone makes a discovery. The freezer is full of fish. Fresh fish. More than a family would normally keep. The old man is brought in for questioning. He identifies himself as the cook, Saddam's personal chef. And he admits, yes, Saddam has been hiding with his family. Yes, he knows where he is. Meanwhile, at the farm, the other team has hit their target. It's completely silent. No explosives, no flashbangs, total blackout. They sweep the property. Nothing. It's a dry hole. But then intelligence realizes the mistake. Muslet pointed to the wrong farm. The teams are one farm off. The unit at the farm shifts positions. They move to the adjacent property and hit it with the same silent precision. They sweep buildings, clear rooms, search outbuildings. Then someone notices something odd. A rug on the ground near a small shack. There's a rope attached to it. They pull back the rug. Underneath is a styrofoam plug covering a hole in the ground. The spider hole. The plug is removed. A soldier shines his flashlight down into the darkness. It's a vertical shaft, barely large enough for a person, maybe 6 to 8 feet deep. At the bottom, there's a small horizontal chamber, like an upside-down L. And inside, looking up at the light, is a man. His hands are raised. He's wearing civilian clothes. He has a long, unkempt beard. "Don't shoot," he says in Arabic. "I am Saddam Hussein, President of Iraq, and I am ready to negotiate." The soldiers pull him out of the hole. He doesn't resist. Standing in the Iraqi night air for the first time in months, Saddam Hussein looks nothing like the dictator who ruled Iraq for nearly a quarter century. His hair is long and matted. His beard is wild, with bits of debris in it. He's dirty, disheveled, and disoriented. He's searched. He has a pistol on him, but he never drew it. In the hole, they find $750,000 in cash and several boxes of expensive cigars. No bodyguards, no weapons cache, no elaborate security. Just a man hiding in a hole in the ground. The radio call goes out. "I have a possible for number 1. Back at the house in town, the teams hear the transmission. After 8 months of near misses and dry holes, they've actually done it. They've captured Saddam Hussein. The confirmation: Saddam is brought to a secure location for initial identification. He's photographed. His physical features are compared to files. Medical records are reviewed. He has distinctive scars and old injuries that can be verified. One operator later describes opening a door and seeing him for the first time. Salt and pepper beard, debris in his hair, standing handcuffed at a plastic table. Holy shit, that's him. He looks like dirty Uncle Fester. Saddam apparently understood some English and knew who the Addams Family character was. He spit at the operator. The operator's response: "Okay, you'll be dead soon." But the confirmation is undeniable. Dental records match. Physical scars match. It's him. The news is sent up the chain of command. Within hours, it reaches the highest levels of U.S. government. The manhunt, is over. The aftermath. Saddam is transported to Baghdad International Airport and held in a secure detention facility. Before he's moved, the leadership makes a decision. They'll let everyone involved in the operation see him in person. Every soldier who played a part in the capture gets a chance to walk past and witness the moment. It's about understanding the significance. This is the man they've been hunting for 8 months. The dictator who terrorized Iraq for decades. And now he's just a prisoner in handcuffs. Some photos are taken that day. They're supposed to be classified, for internal use only. But one of the interpreters emails them to someone, and within hours they're circulating online. The images shock the world. Saddam, the strong man who projected absolute power, is shown disheveled and defeated. A military doctor examines his mouth with latex gloves, checking for hidden weapons or poison. It's the ultimate humiliation for a dictator who built his image on strength and control. The official announcement comes soon after. Administrator Paul Bremer appears before cameras and delivers 4 words that echo around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. December 14, 2003. The soldiers who captured Saddam go back to work. There's a brief moment of celebration. They caught the #1 target. They delivered on what felt like an impossible promise to the president. But the very next day, there's another mission, another target, another operation. One operator later reflects on that moment. You get so excited about catching Saddam, but then you catch him and you realize he's just another guy, just another dude, nasty and dirty and living in a hole. The war doesn't end with Saddam's capture. The insurgency continues. The violence escalates. Over the following years, Iraq will descend into sectarian conflict that makes the invasion look like the easy part. Some of the soldiers who participated in Operation Red Dawn will deploy again and again. Some will go on to hunt other high-value targets. Some will eventually leave the military and struggle to process everything they witnessed. Because Operation Red Dawn wasn't the end of anything. It was just another chapter in a war that would drag on for nearly a decade. The trial and execution. For Saddam, capture is just the beginning of the final act. He's held at Camp Cropper near Baghdad International Airport. He spends nearly 3 years in detention before his trial begins in October 2005. The trial focuses on the Dujal massacre, where 148 people were executed after an assassination attempt in 1982. The evidence is overwhelming. Documents bear Saddam's signature. Survivors testify to systematic torture and murder. On November 5, 2006, he's found guilty and sentenced to death. On December 30, 2006, just before dawn, Saddam Hussein is hanged in a Baghdad execution chamber. The execution is supposed to be solemn and dignified. Instead, witnesses shout sectarian slogans as the noose is placed around his neck. Someone records it on a cell phone. The video leaks within hours. Saddam's last words, as he recites the Islamic Declaration of Faith, are drowned out by shouts from the crowd. The execution that was meant to bring closure instead deepens divisions. For Shia Iraqis, it's justice for decades of oppression. For Sunni Iraqis, it's sectarian humiliation. The soldiers who captured him have mixed feelings. There's a part of them that wanted to be there, to witness the final end. But there's also the understanding that killing Saddam doesn't undo the horror he caused or heal the wounds he left behind. Reflections. December 13, 2003, remains a significant date in modern military history. Operation Red Dawn was a textbook example of intelligence-driven operations, patient analysis, and precise execution. It demonstrated what's possible when analytical work and operational capability come together. But it also reveals the limits of military solutions. Capturing Saddam didn't stabilize Iraq. It didn't end the insurgency. It didn't prevent the rise of ISIS a decade later, when many of Saddam's former officers joined the terrorist organization. For the soldiers who were there, it's complicated. They completed an impossible mission. They captured one of the most wanted men on earth. They did their jobs with precision and professionalism. But they also saw what came after: the continued violence, the sectarian war, the collapse of order that created space for something even worse than Saddam's regime. One operator reflects, "We were all excited. We caught Saddam. But then you go home, go to bed, and the next day, there's another mission. And that's when it hits you. It doesn't matter, does it? It just never ends. It just keeps going." The manhunt for Saddam Hussein ended in a hole near Tikrit on December 13, 2003. But the consequences of that manhunt, the invasion that preceded it, and the execution that followed, continue to shape the Middle East today. Epilogue: the spider hole. The hole where Saddam was found measured approximately 6 feet deep, with a small horizontal chamber at the bottom. It was equipped with an air pipe for ventilation and was covered by bricks, dirt, and a rug. Nearby was a small hut that served as camouflage for the entrance. Inside the hole, investigators found one Glock pistol, unfired, $750,000 in U.S. currency, several boxes of expensive cigars, some personal items, no communications equipment, no bodyguards, no escape plan, just a dictator hiding in the ground, waiting for the inevitable. The site became known as the Spider Hole, a military term for a camouflaged fighting position. But this wasn't a fighting position. It was a tomb for the living. The man who once controlled palaces, commanded armies, and ruled a nation with absolute power spent his final months of freedom in a space barely large enough to lie down in. When the styrofoam plug was pulled away and light flooded into that hole, it revealed more than just Saddam Hussein. It revealed the ultimate end of dictatorship. Not glory, not martyrdom, but a frightened old man hiding in the darkness, clinging to money and cigars and the delusion that he could still negotiate. "I am Saddam Hussein, President of Iraq, and I am ready to negotiate." But there was nothing left to negotiate. The war was over. The regime had fallen. And the president was just a prisoner. Operation Red Dawn succeeded. The manhunt ended. The dictator was captured. But the story of Iraq and the consequences of that December night near Tikrit continues to unfold. If this story of one of modern history's most significant military operations gave you new perspective on the complexity of war and its aftermath, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. Drop a comment with your thoughts on Operation Red Dawn. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.